Hey there! In today's episode, we will be talking about the weather. Canadian English.
Quirky, eh? Hello, bonjour, oi, welcome, and thanks for tuning in to a new episode of our series, Canadian English, Quirky, eh? Let's poke some fun, and hopefully a little bit of learning along the way, about some of the quirkier aspects of the English language, in particular, Canadian English.
So where to begin? My name is Lauri, and I suggest we start where most conversations begin, the weather. Canadians love to talk about the weather. Now, this topic may not be unique to Canadians. In fact, it may be one of the most common icebreakers around. But what makes this subject a bit quirky here is the sheer variety of weather patterns and words we use to describe them. From the Chinooks that bring warm winds in the middle of winter to the Rocky Mountains of Western Canada, to the nor'easters that bring serious hurricane-like storms to the Maritimes. From the poudre or blowing powder snow in Quebec to the slush of downtown Toronto. From bone-chilling winters to the sweat-drenching humidity of summer, there is no shortage of extreme conditions to discuss. A frequent question you will come across as a conversation icebreaker that may have you scratching your head is this one. Cold enough for you? First of all, it may be tricky to understand because the question has no verb and the speaker has usually used a slangy twang. But even if there were to use the complete sentence, is it cold enough for you? It could still confuse you. Is what cold enough? There are so many variations on this question. Hot enough for you? Wet enough for you? Windy enough for you? And so on. The best way to answer this non-question is simply by adding another comment about the weather. When it's cold, yeah, it's freezing. I've never experienced such cold weather. Or, I'll say, my fingers are numb. When it's hot, no kidding, this humidity is unbearable. Or, I wouldn't refuse a nice cold beer right about now. When it's wet, I'm drenched to the bone. Or, crazy wet, I'm going down to my basement to start building an ark. When it's windy, unbelievable, my umbrella just blew inside out. Or, yes, I think I saw Dorothy and her dog Toto fly by. You get the idea. Whether it's a coworker or a total stranger, when you're in person, banter like this can lead to further conversation. The inability to respond will stop you before you even get started. Another popular starter question is the simple, how's the weather where you are? This one is quite common these days when so many conversations are virtual. On Zoom or Instagram or Snapchat, people can be in different parts of the country or in completely different hemispheres. Many global business conference calls start out with talk of the weather, so it's a good idea to be prepared to describe the weather where you are. It's sunny and pleasant here, a perfect Ottawa day. It's raining cats and dogs here in Vancouver. And that's a lot of rainfall. For the advanced speaker looking for a chuckle, add on, I think I just stepped on a poodle. Let's just say that the Mount Tremblant ski resort is doing a brisk business. It's a bone-chilling 40 below with the wind chill here in Regina. A typical winter day. Oh, it took me 20 minutes to scrape the ice and snow off my windshield this morning. You gotta love the London Lake effect snow squalls. As you can see, there is a ton of vocabulary to learn to talk about Canadian weather, even casually. Just for fun, put me on pause while you write down the names of the 4 seasons and as many weather words you can think of to describe each one. We can't possibly cover it all in one podcast, so how about we focus on winter? Did you think there was just one word to describe snow in Canada? Think again and again. Here are some examples. Types of snow. Flakes, pellets, powder snow, packing snow, lake effect snow, crystalline snow, kernel snow, drifting or blowing snow, crunchy snow, corn snow. Variations on winter weather. Freezing rain, sleet, hail, slush. Ways to describe snow events. Storms, blizzards, flurries, squalls, whiteouts, avalanches, ice storms. Effects of snow. Getting snowed in. Snow days! Cabin fever. Car accidents. 40-car pileups. The number and variety of terms one will use to describe snow will vary depending on how much you interact with it. A skier, for example, has a large vocabulary of different terms to analyze snow. They love freshly fallen snow, but hate chunder. And the Inuit language has more than 50 words to describe the snow that is a fundamental part of their life. So depending on where you live in Canada, you may want to get to know some of these terms and use them to help you begin conversations. If you cannot recognize and easily respond to icebreakers, and instead just offer a sheepish smile, you'll be missing out on new friendships, new job opportunities, new learning, and even new romance. Of course, you'll require a lot more tips to get your conversations moving beyond the weather. So don't forget to tune in to our next episode. Until then,
we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please take a moment to give us your feedback and like us with a big thumbs up. Feel free to play it again and share it with friends and family. You have been listening to Canadian English, Quirky, eh? A podcast series produced by Brazilian Wave Canada. This project was made possible through the generous support of the Canadian Periodical Fund. If you want to subscribe to this series and have access to exclusive episodes, please sign in at Waveplus.ca. Until then, catch you later. Adieu. Ciao. Stay healthy. Canadian English.
Quirky, eh?